Alright guys, it's a little bit hot in here. Okay, so welcome back. Once again, this is Pastor Sean. Yeah. Sorry, I almost sneezed there. So welcome back to this video for Pastor Sean for the Death Church Radio Podcast. Today is Sunday the 17th, and I'm uploading a video right now that was originally going to be uploaded last week, but I'm now doing it this week instead, where I'm talking about just whatever that's going on during the week. And it's my first actual podcast where it's an hour long for the Death Church Radio podcast show that I've done in quite some time, maybe about between 6 to 8 months. So, and for this week's video that I'm going to be uploading next week, I wanted to talk about a little bit that has come up in conversation with this new woman that I'm talking to. And by not realizing that when I talk to people that don't know me, don't know my personality or my backstory for my testimony, when talking about things of demonic nature, it was basically what happened is I was telling this woman, kind of just somewhat casually, about this experience that I had when I was younger, back when I was in my late teens. And it had to do with things that were demonic, because back between 2005, probably before that, I'd say probably about 2004 to about 2009, I was a Satanist. And so I was telling her some random story about back then, and I almost scared her off because we didn't talk for a couple days. So I wanted to make a video, just another demonology video, because I put up about 3 of them so far on this channel, where I was reading a book and telling stories. So what I wanted to do was tell another story that pertains to this subject. And I will be making more demonology videos, but I just don't want it to be like the whole spiritual and ghost thing and spiritual warfare to be the main part of my channel. This is just something that's all over the place. So where one week I'm going to talk about philosophy, and then next week would be psychology, and the next week I'll be reading out of one of Christian study books. Like, actually, I have a book here. So I did this one a couple weeks ago. I actually have another book there. Actually, one second, because I thought I put it in this room here. Yep, it's right here. I'm going to be reading this book, Beyond Good and Evil by Friedrich Nietzsche, even though the man was anti-Christian. I don't know if he was necessarily an atheist, so I'm going to be reading this, and then also I have another book that I will also be reading for this channel. Not exactly sure where I put it, but it is 12 Rules for Life by Dr. Jordan Peterson. I believe it's right here, actually. Yep, it was under my study Bible I use for my Wednesday show. So, yeah, I'm going to be reading this also. So it's going to be 2 weeks of books. But anyways, to get back into the original point of the video, I wanted to tell a story about, and I'm going to be telling stories, like I said, just off and on about experiences that I've had with demons. So the most recent one happened maybe about a month ago. And this is what I was telling the woman that I am talking to, because she's a pretty devout Christian lady. And I was telling her a little bit about, the fact that I have what is called the discernment of spirits. And I've had this since I was a little kid. So it is a gift where you can see into the spirit realm. And especially if you go into meditation, or, you can see them when you take, drugs, like DMT or whatnot. You're able to see where somehow your eyes are able to see into that realm. So I see them when I'm half asleep and when I ask God to reveal it to me. So And it usually only I'll ask if I'm having like a really, really bad day, or something just doesn't feel right, like something just feels off in my apartment or inside of me, where I'm just unnecessarily like angry and upset. And I probably should do this again, because I've been feeling this way very, I've been feeling this intense anger recently. I actually think it just has to do with the stress from my job. I'm assuming, but I have to go into prayer and find out though. So the last time that this was happening, I was about half asleep, and this might have even actually been in December, so maybe about 1 or 2 months ago, where I was half asleep, about to fall asleep, and then I was kind of in that weird kind of, not delta state, not rapid eye movement, but like the one where it's like the alpha one where you're kind of about to fall asleep, I think. And so I was laying there in bed, and I asked the Lord to reveal to me, I don't know if it was because I just wasn't able to fall asleep or something, or if I was really upset about something, but I asked him to reveal to me if there is a demon, like, if there was a demon affecting me. And so he opened my eyes and I saw that there was one. And so what I saw was, it had like this weird, like black ink is what I saw, that was on the entire left side of my body, like going from the top of my head all the way to the sole of my foot. So what happened was that this demon was in the form of like a squid, or not maybe an octopus. It was something like that, and it was about 6 feet tall. It was about as big as me, and it didn't really have its tentacles wrapped like on the left side of my body where it was holding onto me. It was more so that its black ink that was coming out of its like beak, like was holding on to me like I don't know, not a serum, but like it was holding on to me like glue, I guess. And so I saw it, and I saw this thing attached to me with its like black goop. And so I don't know if it was like trying to paralyze me, or I'm not sure, because I think I asked God, what is it doing to me? And God told me what it was doing, but I don't remember what he said. So what happened next is I said, okay, well, I now pray to go ahead and get it off of me. Because at times, there's two kinds of battles, I guess you would say, when dealing with demons. One is I would put on the full armor, which is talked about in the book of Ephesians. Okay, sorry guys, I accidentally turned that off. Okay, so continuing with the story here. So, when praying about what was going on in the moment, asking God, okay, God, so what happened here? Like, why is this thing attached to me? And why is it attached to the entire only left, like, why is it clinging onto the left side of my body? And God told me, but I don't remember what it was that he told me as to why it was attached. So what I did is back to what I was saying, there's two ways that you can pray when battling a demon. So you can put on the full armor of God, which is talked about in the book of Ephesians, chapter 10, verse 16. And so when putting on the armor of God, you can take on the demon yourself with the sword, like when you're holding a sword and shield, where it talks about that in that book. And you can fight it yourself. Or you would have to be completely reliant on God and have him tell you what to do while you're in this half conscious, half unconscious state, when you're about to fall asleep. So what I did is I prayed and asked God, okay, so instead of fighting it, I asked God to remove it, and I believe I had to repent of something. I just don't remember what it was. But once I did, I now commanded in, the name of Christ. I commanded in Jesus' name for it to be removed from me, and it was actually fairly easy. Because sometimes when you're dealing with demons, it just depends on what the amount of power that the demon has on you, and also depending on how deep are you in the sin that you're in, is what also helps give it its power. Sometimes it takes forever to, or it seems like, it feels like it takes forever to have the demon removed from you. And sometimes it's really quick. Like this one just happened to be really quick. Like the black tar or the black ink that I saw in my mind as it was attached, it just started coming off of me. Like, in that movie with Thanos, when he was, I guess, killing the people and then they would disappear into pixels or whatever. So that's what was happening in my sleep. It was being taken off, it was being removed. And it was fairly quick. And then after that happened, I actually felt much better. I felt content and I felt happy. And then I was able to eventually just fall asleep. And then also that demon, I didn't even have to cast it into the abyss, because that's another thing that you have to do. You don't have to do. You can just send it somewhere else in the world, but it's like, why would you do that? It would just make more sense to cast it into Sheol. The only one that you can't cast there is Satan himself. That's the only demon you can't, where the prayer doesn't work. And I was thinking about this the other day. I've never personally actually spoke to Satan or have seen him on me. It's mostly just been small minions, like small low-level demons that have afflicted me negatively, obviously negatively, but have afflicted me in like spiritual attacks. It's never been I've never dealt with one of the high principalities. That's never happened. So it's normally just been the small ones and different forms of animals and like grotesque looking monsters and just stuff like that. Because when you ask God, okay, God, please reveal it to me, but place a hedge of protection on me so I don't get frightened by it. Let me see it, but don't let me get frightened by it. And he'll do it. He just reveals it to me and I can see it. So, and that I didn't even have to deal with this squid demon, because it just removed itself. So it just immediately unlatched. Like it didn't really have a strong hold, I guess. And God took all the gunk off of the left side of my body. So, but it's just constant. Like it's in the last about, I would say 3 months, I've had 4 spiritual attacks, like from demons. So, there could be one right now, and I'm not aware of it. I would have to go deep in prayer and see if there is one. So, anyways, I'm not exactly sure what the intent was for it, because every intent for whatever demon, when it attaches itself to you, it like afflicts you with with something that's negative, as opposed to like the Holy Spirit or holy gifts being like a positive. So like some demons will attach to your heart, to your head, to your lower back, to cause pain, to cause misery, to cause mental mental disorders and mental problems. Could cause it to make you feel loneliness all the time. Like there's just, every demon has they have different powers to negatively afflict you. Ones can just straight up, if God doesn't stop them, they can just straight up kill you just right. They can murder you right then and there. There's some that are that powerful, but it's pretty rare, at least from my personal walk in the light by seeing these things, and also going back to when I was in California, when I told you guys about how I used to be a Satanist. I was opening using a Ouija boards that I would make on my own, or one that I bought offline, like off eBay or something, where I opened a portal in my brother's room. And even then, like, I don't even think it was a high principality even back then, so it didn't seem like it. So it's always just been low level demons, for my personal walk, for whatever reason. which is, I guess it's a blessing. It's a good thing. It's because they're normally easy to deal with when you're deep in prayer with God. So anyways, just want to talk about that for my personal story of the last time that I was under demonic attack. So if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and throw it up on the video in the comments, and I'll answer the questions the best I can. But this is just how the Lord revealed these things to me personally. He could reveal these things differently to you. If you end up being in one of these situations yourself, which most likely, if you're walking with Christ, there's probably demons present, most likely. So yeah, I just want to talk about that for my story for today. So once again, this is Pastor Sean. Come back with a video next week, and God bless.